Frequently asked questions about Moors. 1. Who are the Moors? The Moors, historically, are known as the revealers of the light. We are mostly known for educating many civilizations and paving the way for Europe's Renaissance and Enlightenment. Because of Moorish innovation and science, came algebra, arithmetic, compasses, and tools of navigation, astronomy, cosmology, our mastery of pens and printing, advances in medicine, and the understanding of how disease spreads and how it can be healed through plants and other medicinal herbs. Moorish culture has given us elegant architecture. Moors are known for their poetry and music. William Shakespeare is known to have studied at the feet of Moorish poets and playwriters during the Renaissance, 13th-16th century. The Moorish universities established in Al-Andalusia, Spain, during Moorish administration were the center for learning for centuries, and from these universities, for example Oxford University, came the world's most famous African scholars, doctors, philosophers, statesmen, poets, artists, painters, lawyers, politicians, authors and men of letters. 2. Who is Drew Ali? Noble, Drew Ali, was born in the state of North Carolina, January 8, 1886, born of Cherokee descent, destined to become the first patriot of the fallen Moors here in America. He was anointed as Al-Hajj Sharif, Abdul, Ali, by the heads of Egypt and the holy city of Mecca to return to the United States as the last prophet in this era of time, and founding father of the newly risen nation of Moorish Americans who have been branded Negro, blacks, coloreds, Indians, and Latinos. 3. Are the Moors Masons? Masonry is the preservation of Moorish science and its various applications, for example the administration of government. In fact, the ancient Arabic, Moorish, Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, now known as Shriners International, or simply Shriners, a group of master masons, get their title potentate, a high-ranking officer within Masonry, from minister, plenipotentiary, the position granted to John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson etc. to negotiate the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moorish Empire and the United States colonies. It was the Sultan of Morocco, His Imperial Majesty Muhammad ibn Abdullah, who was the first sovereign to recognize the Europeans as an independent body politic, nation of people. See the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States 1786, 1787, Treaty of Tripoli 1796, 1797, and the American Constitution 1791 Article 6. 4. What is the Moorish Science Temple of America? The Moorish Divine and National Movement is guided by the great God Allah, to which his prophet the noble, Drew Ali, established several Moorish science temples on American soil to help facilitate the reversion of our estate. The social and political operations of the Moorish Divine and National Movement started with the Old Canaanite Temple, established and founded by Drew Ali, in 1913. It then became the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, in 1925. Considering the movement became largely religious, the temples then adopted a religious affidavit and changed name in 1928, to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Each temple is to teach our people that we are not Negroes, blacks, coloreds, Spanish, nor Indians, as well as to teach those things necessary to become better men and women within society. Drew Ali made it a point that he desired for us to know of our higher self and lower self, so we may cleanse ourselves of the cares of the world and take our places amongst the affairs of men, administrate our own free national government, inclusive of the teaching of jurisprudence and enforcement of our American Constitution. Temple are to teach history, as history and law must be taught hand in hand. The temples are also established to deal with the now de facto United States Corporation Company that overthrew the Moorish Imperial Divan in 1861, posturing as legitimate government. It has been proven that these European colonizers will not bring us justice. This is one of the reasons why, in the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Act 5, Drew Ali mentions schools within every temple, because from our schools come the leaders of the nation. 5. Doesn't the Treaty of Peace and Friendship only apply to the Kingdom of Morocco? The Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed 1786, 1787, between the Moroccan Empire and the United States. The Kingdom of Morocco did not get its independence from France until 1956. An empire is different from a kingdom. An empire is an extensive group of states or countries under a single supreme authority. The supreme head of an empire is known as an emperor. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship was entered into in order to end the thousands of years of war between the Moorish Empire and various Christian countries and kingdoms. The Ancient Carthage War 814-146 BC. Greco-Persian War 499-449 BC. The Three Sicilian Wars 480-307 BC. The Three Punic Wars 246-146 BC. The Battle of Poitiers, France, 732 AD. All five of the Christian Crusades against the Moors 1095-1213 AD. The Inquisition against the Moors authorized by Pope Gregory IX 1233 AD. The Inquisition against the Moors authorized by Pope Nicholas IV 1291 AD. The Spanish Inquisition spearheaded by King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, after the merge of their kingdoms Aragon and Castile, leading up to the Treaty of Granada of 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed to America and the Inturca Terra Divina of 1493. Beaver Wars, Iroquois Wars, 1609, circa 1700s, inclusive of the following wars. The Three Powhatan Wars of 1610, 1622, and 1644. Pequot Wars 1636-38, Wappinger War 1643, 1645, Austro-Turkish War 1663, 1664, Metacomet War of 1675. The Great Turkish War 1683, Ottoman-Venetian War, 1714-1718. The Battle of Aspensa fought on April 20, 1770, between the Georgians. Russo-Turkish War 1768, 1774, and 1787, 1792. Treaty of Peace. An agreement or contract made by belligerent powers, in which they agree to lay down their arms, and by which they stipulate the conditions of peace and regulate the manner in which it is to be restored and supported. Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition. 6. Doesn't Moor just mean black? Moor does not mean black. The noun Moor is a shortened variant of the word Moroccan. The word Moroccan is a modern name for ancient Moabite. After the continued fall of the Moorish Empire from about 1492, the Treaty of Granada, Spain, the coup of 1861 when the United States Congress adjourned sine die, or without day, the national identity of the people who controlled the ancient empires of the world was removed from history. We are not black, we are Moors. Those Dominicans, Haitians, Tainos, etc. do not come from blacks. They are descendants of Moors, hence the Spanish word, morena, and, moreno. The Moors of North America have been branded black by European colonial occupiers of our land in order to strip us of our illustrious history. Our ancient Moabite, Canaanite, and Hittite bloodlines tie us to the ancient Olmecs, of Central Amexem, America. The Aztecs Mexica, even the Dogon of Mali. Our ancient ancestors are the possessors of great ancient cities and kingdoms such as Sumer, Mari, Timbuktu, Carthage, Cordoba, Mauritania, North Africa, and Tamari, Egypt, Kemet. Our disconnect from recognizing our ancient bloodline, nationality and heritage is the very reason why the pale-skinned black nations of Europe have been administrating the earth and we have been suffering. 7. What is nationality? Nationality is the quality or character which arises from the fact of a person's belonging to a nation or state. Nationality determines the political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance, while domicile determines his civil status. When you think of a Japanese person, you often think of the way they carry themselves, their culture, traditions, maybe even food, clothing, or religion, and depending on your level of scholarship, you may even think of their history. The Japanese people may raise their children in a specific manner that may differ from other nations, etc. The combination of all of these things can be related to the non-tangible concept of nationality. Nation. Noun, a country under one government, group of people of common descent, from Latin nationem, denoting birth, from nasci, to be born. Related to native adjective. From Latin nativus, innately, produced by birth, natural, belonging to a person because of his birth, from nasci, to be born, beget. 8. Are Moors sovereign citizens? Moors are not sovereign citizens, as sovereignty does not stand alone. Sovereignty and nationality can be considered synonymous. The records show that the Moors are the organic or original sovereigns of this land, America. When we declare our nationality as Moorish Americans, we are taking back the position as the aboriginal people of the land, to which the sovereign power is vested in. As an example, the Chinese people are the sovereigns of China, the Irish people are the sovereigns of Ireland, the Brazilians are the sovereigns of Brazil, etc. A Frenchman does not have sovereign power over China. A Brazilian does not have sovereign power over Libya, an Egyptian does not have sovereign power over Angola, etc. etc. A sovereign is defined as a person, body, or state in which independent and supreme authority is vested, a chief ruler with supreme power, a king or other ruler with limited power. Evidence of Moors having sovereignty or supreme power over the Americas can be found in George Washington's letter to the Sultan of Morocco, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, December 1, 1789, whereas George Washington states the following: "The encouragement which your majesty has been pleased, generously, to give to our commerce with your dominions, the punctuality with which you have caused the treaty with us to be observed, and the just and generous measures taken in the case of Captain Proctor, make a deep impression on the United States and confirm their respect for and attachment to your imperial majesty." Dominion is defined as ownership, or right to property or perfect or complete property, or ownership. Sovereignty, or lordship, as the dominion of the seas. In the civil law, with reference to the title to property which is transferred by a sale of it, dominion is said to be either proximate, or remote, the former being the kind of title vesting in the purchaser when he has acquired both the ownership and the possession of the article, the latter describing the nature of his title when he has legitimately acquired the ownership of the property but there has been no delivery. When doing more research on the subject matter, in the preamble of the treaty with Morocco and the United States, it is declared that the founding fathers were in fact not the founders of anything, but were ministers, plenipotentiary, granted permission from the Sultan of Morocco to negotiate the treaty on behalf of the various Europeans doing business here in North America, Morocco the extreme west. Article 6 of the same treaty will show you that we were in fact the superior power in the negotiations. Article 10 will give you insight into the reason why the Star-Spangled Banner. Article 14 and 23 will reveal to you that Morocco was the first country to recognize the United States as an independent quasi-nation. Article 16 will reveal that Mexico is ipso facto part and parcel of the Moroccan Empire, hence the Maris Corham from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Article 17 shows the influence of our power made an impact on Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, of the American Constitution and more contemporary, Article 20, Clause 2, of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights. Article 20 reveals the root behind Article 3 of the American Constitution of 1791, diversity of citizenship, and Article 11 of the Treaty of Tripoli will reveal that contrary to popular belief, the United States is not a Christian country. 9. Do Moors squat in homes? 10. Do Moors pay taxes? According to the common law, constitutional republic principles of no taxation without representation, Moors do not owe any duty, tax or obligation to the United States of America minor because we are not represented within their body politic. Furthermore, it has been made known in the Diversified Metal Products Incorporated VT Bow Company Trust, Internal Revenue Service, and Steve Morgan November 18, 1993, Civil Number 93405 EEJL. That the IRS is not an agency of the United States government. According to the Constitution, only Congress can lay and collect taxes. Moors nor other nation of people pays taxes to any government that does not represent them, nor do Moors or any other nation of people pay taxes to private agencies not congressionally sanctioned.